If Cristiano Ronaldo was born in Nepal, it's unlikely that he would have become the same global football superstar that he is today. While his talent and work ethic would still be there, the environment, opportunities, and circumstances would have been drastically different, and those factors would have shaped his career path in ways that might not have led him to the same level of success. Let's dive deeper into why this might be the case. 1. Football infrastructure and development. Lack of elite academies and resources. One of the main reasons Ronaldo became what he is today is the access he had to top-tier academies, training, and development systems. In Portugal, Sporting CP provided him with world-class coaching from a young age. In Nepal, there are fewer football academies or facilities at the level that European clubs have, and the training would be much less intensive. This could have hindered his technical development, especially in his early formative years. Lower level of competition. Ronaldo's rise was made possible by the highly competitive football environment in Europe, where he was constantly pushed to improve. In Nepal, the overall level of competition would be much lower, and there might not have been the same fierce rivals or high standards to motivate him to constantly push the boundaries of his abilities. 2. Limited global exposure. Fewer scouts and international opportunities. In a smaller, less football-focused country like Nepal, Ronaldo might not have been noticed by the right people. Scouting networks in Europe are vast and well-developed, but Nepal doesn't have the same level of international football recognition. Even if he had immense talent, it would be a much bigger challenge for him to break through to professional European football. Lack of global media coverage. As we saw in the case of Ronaldo, media exposure and branding were huge factors in his success. His rise was partly propelled by the media's fascination with his talent and persona. If he were in Nepal, it's likely he would have had far less media attention, making it harder for him to attract the attention of major clubs or sponsors. 3. Cultural and social factors. Different priorities and traditions. Football in Nepal isn't as deeply ingrained in the culture as it is in Portugal, where it's almost like a religion. In Nepal, while the sport is growing, it's not the dominant sport. Ronaldo might have been more influenced by different sports or other aspects of Nepalese culture, leading him to pursue other career paths or sports entirely. His family's support was crucial in his rise, but cultural and societal norms in Nepal might have made his pursuit of football more difficult. Social and financial barriers. Even if Ronaldo were incredibly gifted, there would still be significant financial and social obstacles for him to overcome. Football in Nepal doesn't have the same lucrative opportunities or infrastructure as in Portugal, which could have limited his ability to access the best training and compete at a high level. Without the same financial resources, he may have struggled to follow the same path to stardom. 4. Mentality and motivation. Different path to success. Ronaldo's success is heavily linked to his mentality and work ethic, which were shaped by his competitive environment in Portugal. The standard of living and the resources available to him in Europe pushed him to be the best. In Nepal, the path would have been far more isolated and full of obstacles. While his work ethic would still likely be strong, he might not have had the same competitive fire or professional backing that made him into the international sensation he is today. Role models and inspiration. Growing up in Portugal, Ronaldo had direct access to role models like Luis Figo and the opportunity to watch top-flight football regularly. In Nepal, football culture is still developing, and local heroes might not have had the same global recognition. This lack of visible role models on the world stage could have impacted Ronaldo's dreams and aspirations early on, potentially influencing his development and goals. 5. The role of globalization and modern technology. Access to international platforms. In today's world, with social media and digital platforms, even players from smaller countries have a chance to make it big. However, when Ronaldo was starting out, those opportunities weren't as prevalent. If he were born in Nepal today, social media could have played a huge role in helping him showcase his talent. Still, the lack of a robust football ecosystem in Nepal would have made it significantly harder to make the leap from local talent to global superstar. 6. The Nepal national team struggles. International success with Nepal. Even if Ronaldo had made it to the international level representing Nepal, he likely wouldn't have had the platform to shine on the global stage like he did with Portugal. Nepal's national team struggles to compete in major international tournaments like the AFC Asian Cup or World Cup, and while he could have been a standout player for his country, the team's overall performance will have limited his opportunities to shine internationally. Lack of elite competition. In Portugal, Ronaldo was playing against the best of the best in domestic leagues and international competitions. If he were in Nepal, he might have been playing in less competitive leagues, which would have limited his exposure to elite football and stunted his development as a world-class player. Conclusion. While it's hard to predict exactly how things would have turned out, it's clear that Ronaldo's rise to the top was facilitated by a unique combination of talent, opportunity, and environment. Growing up in Nepal, without the same level of support, competition, or infrastructure, it's unlikely he would have achieved the same level of success. Though his talent would certainly shine through, the pathway to becoming one of the greatest players in history would have been much harder, and perhaps not even possible without the right resources and opportunities. Ronaldo's story is a combination of personal drive, but also a series of fortunate circumstances. Growing up in a football-loving nation with access to elite coaching, clubs, and international exposure. In Nepal, those same conditions simply wouldn't have existed to the same degree.